Huh. Huh. Emily, Laser Princess, Pink Raccoon.
Very funny. I know you never said anything that tacky or overt to Fred, but you're still gonna have that talk.
Oh, geez. I totally forgot to stop that. That is Angel. As I keep saying, horrible show. Don't watch it. It will suck you in. And it's not in the least bit entertaining, which Buffy is. So, yeah. Honestly, it would have been a better show, I think, if Angel had been written out and it had just been about Wesley, Gunn, and honestly Doyle and Cordelia. And it would have been a better show because Angel just sucks the joy out of everything. Anyway, season 6, episode 21, 2 to go. Here's where the thing is like written as she has been. Willow should stop, and all but okay. I don't know this string of words. Here's where the thing is like, comma, written as she has been, comma, Willow should stop and all. Should stop and all, comma, but they really needed her to be the big bad for some fucking reason. Maybe because they thought that having a season with a comedically underpowered trio of supervillains as the big bad was somehow not what the show needed after Glory. But it is exactly what the show needed after Glory. And you don't make the show better by having the last 2 episodes of the season be, let's make Willow a bigger threat than Glory and turn her into the big bad. Which, honestly, we know they only did because of her sexuality. And I'm not trying to misinform anyone saying that. It is just a fact that if they're going to turn a character who has always been just a more or less paragon of virtue into something so malignant and awful that she's going to literally wipe out all life on Earth just to avoid having a lower level of threat in a final in a sixth in a season after, excuse me, having an essentially all powerful hell god. Like I said, these last 3, it's going to be very frustrating for me because there are a lot of contradictory emotional reactions that I have to everything that goes on in these last few episodes, including just, I love watching Willow cut loose, riding the big rig, throwing down lightning bolts. Her whole confrontation with Giles, where she's like, she gets caught the first time and then she gets out of it and then she comes back and she's like, yeah, that's not going to work again. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. She's so good. This is very inefficient of Willow. Controlling a big rig would be taxing. After I give that whole spiel, that's the line of notes that I come to, of course. I want to reassure you that as much as it may be seeming like I am aware of what is written on these, I am not. I have significant memory issues unless it is like a specific thing that I'm just absolutely obsessed about. Like, you know, You want to talk about weird comic book characters like Airwave or, you know, um, I guess 3D Man isn't as obscure as he used to be, but just stuff like that. I am like, I'll go into like hour-long diatribes about it. But this show was never something that was a special interest for me. It was just something that kind of has elements of special interest for me, like, occult stuff, monsters, supernatural crap, all that kind of stuff, and was focused on a female protagonist ostensibly. I've been over um, my thoughts on the overall gender relations in the show multiple times, but yeah. So I don't necessarily remember this, and also I was very high when I wrote all these notes and watched these episodes to write these notes. So yeah, I assure you that like 99% of the time when I seem surprised by what I wrote and as I'm saying it, I can't quite get it out, it is legitimately that I forgot the shit. Oh, Clem and Dawn in a crypt, Darmad and Jalad at Tanagra. Yeah, I mean, Star Trek, Next Generation stuff. Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about, Data and all his crazy shit? I can go for hours. And Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra, that whole episode is one of my favorites. I love the metaphor language that they use, and like the way those actors on Star Trek: The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine specifically emote through all that crazy makeup is really impressive. Not It generally isn't as good on Buffy. What does Dawn think she can do to stop Willow? I'm deeply confused. Rack should have seen what's coming, to be honest. Yeah, and he's framed as a bad guy on the show and everything, so we're not meant to sympathize with him when he does die. But you would think that he would have gotten out of town as soon as he recognized what was going on and been like, I am a battery to someone like that. If Willow shows up here, I'm dead and the world might well end. And he would get out of town, find somewhere else to go for a little bit, right? I don't know. Oh, yeah, it's horrible, but Willow has a point about the whining. Yes. Andrew is a contender for the most pathetic indie. The good girl going gaga gorilla trope. Now with Willow. I was proud of that line, I think. I'm not 100%. Abracadabra, am I right? Simpsons. Oh, Marge. Marge would be funny on Buffy, I think, as one of their neighbors. Maybe after she divorced Homer. Ugh, more of the Spike nonsense. Yeah, why is even Spike on this show at this point? Oh, good. Two chicks having a dick measuring contest. When Willow realizes Anya's there and just shoves Buffy away like she's nothing. Beautiful, no notes. Willow knows. And I think Buffy has started to realize she is strictly second class compared to Willow. The imbued will never be able to cope with an awakened mage. It's like, even with a relatively low avatar and only one dot in like most of the spheres, you can do the most fucked up shit as a mage. Oh, fuck you, Giles. She's far beyond. She's so far beyond you. Yes.